All right. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live Agent session. I'm your host for tonight's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage, and we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here with us this evening as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals in this Forex market to see what we could take advantage of. So, just like always, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes. Let's make sure that we participate and engage. So if you're all ready to go, please drop me a one in the chat. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear, and we can get going with tonight's session. All right, I appreciate it. I see all the ones, so we are good to go. So let's exit out and talk about what happened today in the market. So FOMC statement came out, right? Before that, though, we had the PPI that came through, and we see that it came in at negative 0.3%, forecast is 0.1. So decent. Producer price is coming down a bit. I have to read more in detail about the report, but overall, right, came in under forecast. Crude oil inventories came in at 7.9 million. We'll look at crude. But the FOMC statement, the economic projections, the dot plot, the whole nine, the federal funds rate. So it was widely expected for, especially towards the coming into this week, it was expected, hey, the Feds are probably going to hold rates at 5.25. That's what they did, right? But the twist in the narrative is that federal Jerome Powell was pretty hawkish, right? Pretty hawkish, I would say. And when you talk about the economic projections, they used the whole dot plot, right? Forecast. And back in March, during March meetings, when they were looking at the dot plot, it was projected to come in at 5.1%. Now it's at 5.6%. So we're looking at 50 more basis points of rate hikes coming just around the corner, most likely. So Chairman Powell made it clear not to look at what happened today, them holding rates or a skip or a pause, but just an adjustment, right? So July, there is a live meeting. So we could see another 25 basis points and then another 25 basis points to follow that. Chairman Powell also said, which really caught my ear, is that he doesn't see any rate cuts for actually a couple of years, right? So you have some investors looking at the possibility of rate cuts at the end of this year. So he said today that he doesn't see the possibility of rate cuts for a couple of years. So fairly hawkish tone. Like we say, it's always about that press conference and the forward guidance. As the 25, they holding the rate at 5.25 is already priced in by the time you get to the meeting. So it's all about what's next. And again, it was pretty hawkish today. So yeah, pretty exciting day. Any questions on what came out of the FOMC today? Good. All right. Well, hey, if you think of anything while we're in this session, don't hesitate to ask or type it in the chat. But these meetings are important. So the key again, held rates with a very hawkish tone in regards to forward guidance. And the dot plot adjusted from 5.1 to 5.6. So you're looking at 50 more basis points here in the future. And again, Chairman Powell says he doesn't see any rate cuts for a couple of years. All right, so that was pretty hawkish today. And you saw as a result, some things get bounced around in the market. So tonight, just around the corner, you've got employment data coming out for Australia. Okay, that's going to be pretty important. You'll see if it's a market mover. And then at 10 o'clock, you've got industrial production coming out year over year, right, for China. So huge trade partner. So let's see what happens here as we go through the hours, see if we see any type of price action during the Asian session, especially on those Aussie and maybe those New Zealand pairs. Okay, so let's switch over, taking a look at trading economics, of course, still front page, Fed holds rate steady, but expects more hikes. Okay. We see that the crude stocks rise the most in 17 weeks. That's U.S. crude stocks because of the inventories and things like that that came out. And you see the futures market is steady after the Fed decision. So I see in Japan here, the exports unexpectedly rise. So that's good. That's good there for Japan. And then we've got the British economy expands 0.2% in April. So what I want to do is first take a look at this DXY, and we can see that it's still turning over a bit. All right, moving to the downside, a little back and forth today. We come down to the daily and we see, right, how it tailed off, right, pushed up towards the end of the day. Now we've got a little pop in the dollar here in the Asian session, right? But we're right here in the zone. So it's going to be interesting moving forward into this week, into next, to see what happens with the dollar as a result of the news and the forward guidance coming from the Fed. You can see here on the one, where you can see it starting to push its way back up a bit. So we'll see if we get back above that 12,858 level as a result of today's news. Any question on the DXY?
No.
I don't have a question on the DXY, but I meant to ask earlier. I look at Fox 2 News before I jump on, and I remember the guy saying that, and I think you said it before, but I just wasn't understanding that Russia is selling their oil at a discount. And so a lot of people is going to Russia buying like buy one, get one free barrels. And that's how they put it. And so I forgot because I wanted to look for an article, because the guy kind of, he do kind of good news and stuff. But I wanted to find an article, to ask you about it. But they saying that's probably why, like the how crude is trading today, because everybody buying a discount oil from Russia. So
right.
I think he said something about India and China. So I didn't know.
Yeah. So it's a supply and demand thing, right? So you look at the potential of an increase in supply, right? That's why those crude oil inventories that come out in the United States and everything, right? What's the overall supply of oil out there globally versus the demand, right? And that's, we know what oil, everybody's been waiting. We know that we're moving into the summer months, travel season, but also everybody's been waiting on this, on China, right? That's what a lot of people, when they're speculating to the bullish side on things like oil, they're speculating on the fact that, hey, is the world's second largest economy going to pick up and get back to full steam a lot sooner than later? But the verdict's still out on that. So we'll see what that industrial production number looks like tonight. But yeah. So if you find anything on that, make sure you post it in the Discord. I'll be interested in reading that.
For sure.
Yep. So there we go on that. So let's take a look at these pound pairs, right? Because it definitely got a swing on this pound CAD. That's really nice, right? So Joe, you talked it up, oil, CAD, right? So we'll go here first. If my computer wants to cooperate, there we go. So you can see, right? As long as it stays within that AB boundary and it doesn't take out that A, right? There's a possibility that it'll have no choice but to go your way, right? So we're on the outside of that trend line there. It's a conservative trend line moving down, so it's broken to the opposite side. But you can see that swing, how it pushed deeper in the zone. Okay, and we had, some days where it just collapsed, right? Remember that, but look how it held right around that 8.6 level, and now it's making higher highs and higher lows. So we come to the one, right? Just zooming in on this price action here, and we'll see, right, where we are on this moving long, right? So good day today for the pound. So that's a beautiful swing. So that's the power, right? The Fibonacci sequence and the power of swing trading, right? And trading small and letting the market do what it wants to do, right? So if you play it, right, with your smaller positions, whether it's a buy limit, whatever, however you do it, right? You guys know I like that 61.8786 level. Yes, I'm in drawdown here, right? Pushed up, you're in drawdown, but we picked up a second order. Now both orders are in profit, right? So that's one way you can play it. So we've got an inner and outer trend line break. Okay. So we'll continue to see if that pound continues to pick up steam. All right. So we saw today, right? British economy expands 0.2% in April. It's in line with expectations, and it rebounded, right, from a 0.3% drop. So that was good news from the previous report. And then on top of that, we know they're still dealing with sticky inflation for the most part. So we're looking at the potential of a continued rate hikes from the Bank of England. So that's favoring that pound. Got a little drop off in that oil, bouncing around, and you can see how price is picking up. Right, it's how it all comes together. How it all comes together. So that's the pound CAD. Continue to watch that. We'll see if we can continue to push long. Maybe drop down to your lower time frames. See if you can catch a wave if it wants to continue to move north. Any questions on the pound CAD? That's a really nice swing. We'll see if it can maintain this momentum. Oh, we're good. John, you're NZD. We'll check that out. And check that play.
It was great today. It was really great.
Yeah. Good deal. Good deal. I'm glad it worked out. Glad things worked out for you. So let's take a look. Since we're in the pounds, we'll take a look at the pound Swiss. Take a look at that price action and that movement. Okay. And so we know that we have been watching this this range here, and we see we're pushing back up to the top of that range. And you can see how it's just grinding its way up, right? Grinding its way up there. So we come here. So just about got that 50% pullback, and it's just exploding, right? Making higher highs and higher lows. Eventually, hey, we'll get that D extension. But that's long. The pounds are moving pretty good to the long side. Look at this swing, right? Just about into that 50%. Beautiful 80-20 back down to that 382, right? Beautiful thing, Forex market. Make money on the way up and on the way down, okay? Over 100 pips there, and now look at the swing moving long if you pick that up. So it's making higher highs and higher lows, so we stay long on the pound Swiss, okay? Let's jump over and take a look at the pound yen, right? Everything's still making a run on that yen. It's going to be interesting tomorrow. We've got monetary policy information for Japan. Look at the price. Look at the high prices. It's just moving. Look at that. All right. Additional confirmation on these yen setups. Trend line breaks, lower lows, lower highs. Okay. Look at that movement. Beautiful, beautiful ABCD wave. Right? Okay. You see it enough, you start to believe in it. Push along. We'll see what happens when it comes in at 180.03. But that's a monster swing. That's off the daily. Okay. It's how it goes, right? See, it's still an ABCD wave, but this ABCD wave looked different than the previous ABCD wave, but it's still an ABCD wave nonetheless, right? And that's the point we try to make over and over and over again. We looked at this last night off that 2236, that double bottom, and it's just running, right? So let's see what happens. 180.03, that's where it's headed. It's like a magnet. Look at that daily resistance level. That's got some good momentum. So you can see here, you start to notice things, right? More time you spend on the chart. So you had a good double bottom, right? We see the W wave there. You consolidate it, we accumulated, and we broke out, right? Accumulated and you broke out, okay? You start to catch up, you start to catch on to those things. The more and more you see it, right? You can start to rework your trade plan. Your trade plan starts out very, very basic, and then it just continues to evolve. It's a living, breathing document. So when you start to put all this together, right? Market moves in ways, ABCDs, then these are just your classic price action patterns, right? Your W pattern, which represents your double bottom, okay? Look at your consolidation and your breakout. Your consolidation, your range, and your breakout. Look how it pulled back to retest the top of the zone that it broke out from, and it's just continuing long, right? Lot of lessons, right? Lot of lessons there. Okay. Study your charts. It's worth it, right? So this one here, see how it's blazed? It's just pushed past, right? These yen crosses, huge monetary policy divergence right now, okay? So we want to use extra confirmation on these yen crosses. See how it's just pushed through that zone and it's just working its way up, okay? That doesn't mean it can't stall out before hitting that stop and continue down, but you see how, look at how the momentum just continued to accelerate to the upside. That's why you have the varying degrees of your trend lines, right? So now you have an inner, outer, and a long-term trend line. That's how much price is accelerating. Buyers definitely have control of this market right now. So you wait, and if it doesn't work out, doesn't work out. But if you don't get that confirmation on those breaks, right, you stay out. No harm, no foul. And those are the things you start to pick up on, especially with these yen crosses, right? They accelerate in one direction, and then all of a sudden the bottom will drop out of it, okay? And we know the Bank of Japan is watching. They know that there's a run being made on the yen, right? They do what they have to do, right? They'll step in if they have to, okay? So right now, that's moving strong to the upside. That's pretty much across the board on the yen pairs, okay? So that's the GJ. Any questions on that? Be patient.
Doesn't look like it wants to turn over, right, Benny?
Not at all. We've been down this road before, right? We've been down this road. So we'll see. I'm staying patient. I added that inner trend line once it accelerated. It made a higher high, so I'm just gonna ride it out. But you know, I'm not long, so I prefer to wait to see if we can get a reversal on price there. But I definitely need the trend line break, create a lower low first, potentially a pullback on this pound yen. It's just the yen crosses, they could be so aggressive. So Kim.
Ben, you just indicated that Bank of Japan was watching and they can
Yep.
step in if they want it. What would that look like? What would that look like if they stepped in? Do they raise rates? I mean, what happened if you?
Yeah, they'll step in. So the Bank of Japan, right? It's a central bank. So they'll step in. They'll step in and buy up the yen, right? To strengthen the yen.
Okay,
So
they
that's
will
one.
come
That's
and
one.
buy. Okay,
That's one way they can do it. That's one way they can do it. So the yen, like we went through this last year. Was it last year? Beginning of this year, right? Where they stepped in. Typically, they let the free market just flow, but they stepped in. I think it was. I can't remember. I had to go back in my notes, but it was either like towards the end of last year or early this year. They actually stepped in for the first time since like 1998. You know, because I think it got to beneath last year. What was it? I think the dollar got to, what was it, 150? It was something crazy. Like it got to like the dollar yen got to like 150, and they'll start with the wordplay, and let everybody know that they're watching, and then they do what they have to do. So I just learned now over the years to just watch it. When I'm looking across the board, and the yen is taking a pounding against all crosses, and you're not seeing a ton of pullbacks like here. You got the market took back 23%, and this is a monster pair, right? It only took back 23%, and then it just accelerated. It just accelerated. So when you look at that, and you're saying, man, even currencies that are at 130, then 140, yeah, it was some wild, yeah. So when you see currencies that aren't even the strongest making gains against the yen, it's like, all right, that just keys me into the fact that I might not play it with sell limits or whatnot at those levels, even though those sell limits are small positions that I look to accumulate once the market goes in my direction. But a lot of times I'll just hold off and see what's going on, right? Because when they step in on the yen, they really step in. So you'll get used to seeing that. So
thank
I just
you.
wait.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. So we just wait and see what happens. But yeah, that's moving.
I
That's moving.
have an input, if you don't mind.
What'd you say?
I said I have an input, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So if you go to the daily and maybe just draw your what is it called, support and resistance with that.
Oh yeah, got me. Nice.
So I have a resistance around 180.012. I don't know, maybe it's mine. I have a resistance around 180.012.
180.012. Let me just plug it in. 180.012. See if we can figure it out. 180.012. That's the same zone.
Yeah, so if you do that, so now go to 4 hour time frame.
Oh, right before that, right before that, that D extension.
Yes. So around there, it's gonna be like maybe if you reverse, then it's gonna be like more better rate.
Yeah.
In terms of that.
Yeah. So you're thinking, hey, swing high, potential trend line break to the downside.
Yeah, because if you want to go in on the 1 hour, it's gonna be like a huge stop loss. But with that, potentially maybe a lighter stop loss compared to 1 hour. Just in case.
Yeah. I dig it. I see what you're saying. Yep. I ran that stop loss off that 1 hour extension, but I'm looking at what you're looking at. That daily is right up above that. So yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Let's see what happens. On that. Waiting patiently. Eventually, we know they run out of gas. It doesn't go up forever. So, right. And I'm not sitting in the long on this wave, right after that shallow pullback. Right. So, I would like to play the correction if we can get it. We'll see what happens. But that's the GJ. Let's take a look at the too much, right? So you can see how, right, we've got price correcting, right, off that 80-20 zone off the 4, right? Just barely missed that 382. But even this move here, right, it's a pound pair and it's in New Zealand, right? That's down over 300 pips just out of that zone, but now it's just moving around, bouncing around, kind of range bound, right? So I'm not playing this one. So just wanted to check it out and see what's going on. Anybody playing this pound New Zealand to the downside? It's made good progress, but I didn't take the play on it. Let's see. Nope. No, yeah, I didn't either. I stayed away from this. Let's see what we've got on this 1 hour. Let's see what we're looking like. There we go. It's kind of doing the dance. So we could see more downside. That 1 hour stochastic is at 98% overbought. So maybe we get that further pushed down. That's what I'd like to see. So let's continue to watch it. I'm not doing anything on it right now. It's sitting pretty. Look at that. Pretty high. Pretty choppy overall. But that pound continues to strengthen. It'll break through that zone, that 205 zone after a correction. So that's that there. Take a look at the pound dollar. And we can see, right, it's moving. We're on the weekly. Okay. It's a pretty nice level there. Looks like we're starting that correct possibly. We'll see. Seems like it's trying to hold at that level. I don't know what we think, everybody. Maybe just a slight correction and a continuation. That could be a decent or maybe it'll start working its way down after that news today. I don't know. 39. That's 100 back to that 4 hour. It's definitely giving us a high though. We already have it. That's a That's a new swing high there. Yep. That continues to go south. That could be a monster entry. We'll see. Stochastics in the sell zone. We know we don't have a 382. We haven't had that for a while. It's kind of, it keeps respecting the zone. Move back down here, push right back up. Maybe it's time for it to move right back down. That's a clean, that's starting to break there. Here's a 1 hour low. We want to keep an eye on stochastics in the buy zone on the 1. Keep an eye on this one. All right, that's past resistance that became future support off that wick. All right, so we'll put that in. See that there? This one could be quite interesting. I don't know. Back below that level. What do we think? Going long, or we're about to correct to the downside? Anybody? Take us where we at?
Because
Going down. All right, Beneath. All right, go ahead, Joy.
Because it looked like it will play on the technical. That's a lot of levels to break through. But I think it'll slowly go down unless Chairman Powell
gonna work his way down.
Yeah, because I think Powell gonna come in tomorrow. It's like, you know what, we're gonna raise them today. So
that would be a mess. I don't know. Looks like it's going down. It's like it's trying to head down to me. Back, I was watching this 126.70 level. That's why I had that rectangle drawn and pushed up that zone. We shall see. We shall see. The risk to reward on that could be huge if it starts declining from here. All right, that's the pound dollar. Fascinating. I love these markets. Love these markets. All right, so that's the pound dollar. Let's take a look at the euro NZD to see what was going on. What are you looking like here? Oh, off that short. Yep, it turned over, right? Just shot at 178.72. Well, we might be in the area now where it wants to continue on long. All right, beautiful play, but we might be ready to get back longer. That's kind of in that sweet spot, everybody. That 175.49. That's a 4 hour previous level. Was very nice to the downside though. 437, 434. But we might be ooh, I don't know. Let's see. We got euro data tomorrow. We expected 25 basis points. Little mix. We got inflation is said to be cooling. All right. The R word is coming out of the Eurozone recession. 2 quarters of negative GDP. This one right here, that's a nice U-turn. So let's just on a higher time first. That might be ready to get back long now. Let's what we'll do. Let's take this down to the let's just euro NZD. Let's take it down to the look like on the 5. Let's pull this up. It's already running. It's already taking out highs. Let's drop a fib on this low. On that one. Let's see something. 15. The extension. Okay, so let's I don't do this. Chart's busy. So because I don't want to take all of this down. Saw now. I don't need that 61.8 anymore. So we're here on the sub here. This. So, and I want this 4-hour level. Oh, we don't have it yet. That's the low. So we don't have an official 4 yet. Till that candle closes, we have it on the 1. So we'll link this down. And so 1 hour now. 175.49. So yeah. That. Oh, so put this one in manually like this. So what I'll do is I'll play this off the 15. Let this D extension get hit, see if we close above that 175.49, and then we'll wait for the next fib sequence, right? So here's a high here on the 15, right? So you're looking at a zone, right? So you get that 4-hour, you got this level here, 15, like that. That's the zone. We need to get to that D extension. We've got another level here. So I would like to see for price to finish out and hit that D extension. So missed it. All right, so something like that, hit that D extension. And what I want to see is a pullback. Right. The new fib, something like that. Look at that pullback. I'll look to eventually test this thing out to see if this bullish momentum is for real. And that's how we'll do this. So that's the wait and see. But we got some good momentum to the upside. Let's see what happens. All right, wait for some more evidence. Wait for our setup. Be patient. All right. Any questions on that? All right, so we'll see if it's real or if it's just giving us the business and faking us out right now. We'll see. I got a hand raised. I'm sorry. Kim, was that from before? You got another question?
From before, so sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. No worries. No worries. All right. Any questions on that? All right. And that's just coming from a bullish bias on the euro. We'll see how that plays out. But that's pretty attractive. That 4-hour stochastic being in the buy zone. Yep. Ryan, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, bro. I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm doing great. How's the family? Everybody good?
Family's doing good, man.
That's what's up.
My oldest niece, 8th grade graduation today, so it was a good time.
Awesome. 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 Glad you're able to have a great time. It's always good to see somebody graduate. Next step, next level.
Next step.
Indeed. So let's see what happens with that. That's in our zone, right? That's in our zone. So we get that break and that close. That's what is that? 218, 665. Be a big move. I'm in Europe, but I'm currently on vacation in Israel, and I'll be here for the next 2 weeks. There is a 7-hour time difference. I'm trying my best to keep up with the Forex family. My days feel like work when I missed it. Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Glad you made it there safe. I hear that's an awesome place to visit. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm glad you were able to join us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Have fun. Enjoy it. Enjoy the history, right?
Yeah,
Man, oh man.
pretty awesome.
Yeah. Fascinating. Take lots of pictures. Drop them in the Discord. Something.
Okay, sounds
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. That's pretty
you're
cool.
welcome.
Yeah. So that's the Euro NZD. So yes, that was a beautiful, beautiful correction. So I second that. Now we may be ready to go. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens there. That level. All right. Everybody keep an eye on that. Euro USD. Let's see. So we're talking about this one, right? And if we zoom out, we can see that we continue. We're just talking about how we broke that trend line and prices moving up, and they continue to get some good price action today. Now we're pulling back a bit. So let's see what happens on the Euro USD. Let me pull the fib in here, so y'all can see what's going on. This one will be interesting. Might bounce around a little bit, might get stuck sideways, who knows? That Euro data tomorrow, we know what happened with the US dollar today. But so far, so good, right off that daily support. In our buy zone, there's the U-turn. It's amazing, right? How the fibs allow you to see these huge overall moves, right? Not so much of the, teeny tiny, micro level. Like, look at the big picture. Right? Look at the big picture. See the big picture, and it frames it out perfectly for you. So right now we're moving along. So let's see what happens. Okay, we got back above 108. We're back below it now. This one could be interesting, but so far so good off the break. So moving bullish. See what happens. It's moving down. See if it'll test that trend line. And just keep in mind tomorrow. What time is that? That is at 8:15. 8:15 tomorrow. We've got the policy statement and the refinancing rate. So we're expecting the quarter 25 basis points to 4%. Of course, it's going to be all about the statement after it's from President Lagarde. And then we've got core retail for the U.S. tomorrow as well. Unemployment claims too. And then we've got the statement, and then you got at 8:45 you got the press conference. So we'll make sure we drop a link to that. That'll be live on YouTube. We'll put that in the Discord. And then Japan as well. So it's a lot. This is a big one. So that's the Euro USD. That's where we are now. But that's up off the off the break. When the time it broke, down 47. Highest point was up 153. All right, so let's continue to keep an eye on that. Aussie data's out. Oh, let's see. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Down 44. Too busy talking. I missed the report. Thanks, Jeremy. Let me reset this. Wow. Woo. It looked like on some of these Aussie pairs. Look at that. Just riding that trend line. Might not get that set up there. These gens just keep riding, won't break. Look at that. It tried to. That's positive data. Positive data for them. Look at that. Just gonna wait. This is gonna just let it keep riding along. All these yen crosses look the same. What did it do over on the Aussie dollar? Did it have any type of impact? Not really. Not too much. Come on down. Come on down, Aussie dollar. Just wait. All right. Appreciate it. What we do on the CAD? Other one I've been in the eye on. So we've pushed to that second level now. Right back. 1, 2, 3, pretty much at that 90, 92 level. So we're still holding on in that zone in this area. See what happens. Stochastics in the buy zone. Be patient. It's made a higher high. Got a nice push. Look at that. Then it recovered. Man, crazy day. Crazy day. When did that come out of the zone? Got a decent reaction. 70 pips. Then it took it all back. So adjust that trend line. Just like that. That's crazy. That is crazy. So that's the Aussie CAD. There, Aussie NZD. Oh. What in the world? Jeez. Anybody holding this short? If so, if you adjusted your stop, you probably stopped out now if you moved it down in the profit. You are?
Yeah, I didn't bring mine down yet, though.
You didn't bring it down? Yeah. That may turn back over there. May turn back over. Honestly, NZD could be weird. Might go back and retest the level. But that's some pretty beneath I am. Oh, that's close. My goodness. What's that out of the is it gonna take all of that back on that data? That's 100 pips. See what happens. See what happens on that one. Beautiful move. Anybody else? Just beneath. All right.
No, I had to still look. I'm still alive.
You should. That's a good move down. That's 100. What'd you say?
I'm at 1.10389.
Oh wow. Okay. 10389. Yep. Okay. Me too. Okay. Let's see what happens with it. Man, that's a good. Man, that took it back in a hurry. My goodness. Foreign exchange market. Go figure. Well, that's that. We covered all of those. What else? I wanted to Euro NZD. Oh, this Euro GBP. Keep an eye on this one because this one's settling down. This is trying to, but we'll see. I'm trying to see if it's gonna hold at this level. It's bouncing back and forth here in this zone. Tomorrow's gonna be interesting for this. So you can see here, right, how it's pushed back up above that zone. That's if you trade the Euro GBP. But this one, kind of caught my eye today because it's settled down and we got a nice little push. It seems to be rejecting that monthly support level there. So it's trying to respect that monthly support level. We just got that move down though. Let's keep an eye on it. This is on the 5, right? Minute 80-20 that I'm tracking. See that? Look at that swing. No matter what the time frame. Look at that. Look at the reaction. It's real right here too. Then a U-turn. So the cool thing is this 85.46 level is within this 5-minute AB boundary. So I'm interested to see how deep of a correction we get. And maybe it U-turns and gets long. If it does, that'll be a really good entry going into tomorrow's news on the euro, especially if the ECB keeps a hawkish tone. That's still to be decided. So if we can get that push, then a move up, maybe even retest that 85.46 level, I might be willing to take a crack at that one and see if it'll get long for quite some time, being that these are key levels. Look at that. So I will try to make a play on that if everything lines up. Try to see if it wants to swing. Yes.
You on the 1 is an 80-20. I'm not sure if you I missed the 1 hour chart. Okay.
It's on there. There we go.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks for bringing that up though. That was I didn't have it squeezed down enough. Yeah. So yeah. Just missed that 382 and we're at this monthly support. All right. Big on those monthly and weekly support levels. So it seems like it's trying to do something. We'll see. Especially I just find that pretty cool with data coming out tomorrow for the euro. Yeah, could be a big move to the upside if it's hawkish. All right. So that's the euro GBP. Euro Swissy long. All right. To go back on this. Swissy play here. See how we're getting to this opposite side. Now, our stochastic is overbought, but we're starting to move up off this level, right? 4-hour level, 50%. Want to cover this because we've got data tomorrow for the year. So it's made a good move up. It's at this 97.61. That's a daily level. If we break through, we can continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So I'm thinking long on that. We'll see what happens with the information tomorrow because, right, look where it's sitting. So we'll see if we can get continued momentum off the low. I like these type of trades, right, at these key monthly, weekly levels, because if you drip a trade in and it gets going in your direction, man, that's a really nice entry to carry along for quite some time. That momentum is going in the opposite direction. So always looking at those higher time frame levels when price finally works its way down. Because you can see here, look what happened a few days ago. It's a nice bullish reaction. Okay. So interested in seeing if that can maintain some momentum long. So that's the Euro Swissy. And then I've got this Euro CAD scenario. Right. Still, it's taking a long time, right? But we're still in that zone. Okay. We're still in that zone, swinging to the upside. So good to look at these ahead of tomorrow's data. Now we know overall what the long-term swing is, it's down, but right, look how it's forming that low. Maybe we get a correction and then a continuation down. So maybe we can get that to that 382. Right, maybe it keeps rocking. Look at that. That swing. Right. It's a mess, but it's moving to the upside. Okay, look, here it was here. Look at that. It's a mess, right? As it worked its way to a higher price before continuing down. So maybe the same type of scenario there as well on the Euro CAD. This Euro Aussie, I think it's finally trying to get this pullback that we missed on that last one. Here, maybe not. I was gonna try to start making a move. No, still flat. So at that 382. That makes sense for it to pause. Made a long trip down. Took a while for it to get to that 382, but kind of chilling out right now. So we'll see what happens with the what happens with the data tomorrow. So that's all I have on a year. Oh, we'll take a look at this euro yen. Just because we looked at the other ones. This is right. Good morning. Look at that. Right. So we're moving, right? See if we get a reaction at that 118, 127 zone, but ultimately, right, the extension there, look at this, it's just gorgeous. Look at that. All right. So what we start to think is, hey, if you're not in on this move, if we continue to move long, I don't anticipate any type of change in the rhetoric from the Bank of Japan, but it could be wrong, right? Then being that we've broken above a major daily level, we look for a correction back down eventually. If we get that pull back and it holds, forms a low, then we can look to possibly jump that, right? And get that and catch that upward momentum if we're not involved in this long already. But this is all types of good price action. You got 61.8 zone, daily support at 146.30. You've got double bottoms off the monthly level, 148.60. Like now we've got a break above 151.59 a daily level. See if we can get a retest and a continuation, right? That level is right at that deep boundary. So we'll see if it eventually works its way back to retest and hold. Zooming in down on the one, look at that acceleration. Right? Please come back. Right? See if we can hold in that zone and then continue. Here we are on the 15. We just ran straight through a D extension. It's got all types of momentum right now. We need a correction back to that 150, 159, preferably. Maybe we can get involved with that. Any questions on the EJ? No. Yep. All right. We got a few more minutes here. I want to take a look at what happened on this. Check back. That's gone. No 80-20 there this time. That thing is continuing to rumble. Man, right? I got to be on top of the research.
Man, come on, gone. Gone.
You got a slight correction and then boom. No 382 there, Jack. That NVIDIA stock is rolling. Tech is carrying the day. It is carrying the day for sure.
You take a look at the Salesforce. I think it's CRM.
I did not. Is it running CRM?
No, I think that crown might play out on it.
On the Salesforce?
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it. Let me take a look at this this meta. I didn't have that Salesforce drawn up. That's rolling too. Look at that. It's running. Man. We'll see how they continue to perform with this dollar news. At some point, they're going to correct. That might catch that extension up. But that'll give us, if it catches this extension, okay, and we get that new AV boundary, pull back and buy the dip on that one, potentially. So we'll see.
Close that gap too.
It did. All right. Well, no, not yet, right? Right here?
Yeah, that extension. No, the one to the left.
Oh, right here. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking here. But that, I think this was, I don't know if that's a gap or what happened. Yeah. I have to look at my other charts for that. It did. Chased it and closed it, didn't it? good eye on that. That's a good one. That's right. 167.40. Look at that long. Right off that 50 weekly support. That's a man right there. My goodness. What's the sales
CRM.
price? That makes sense. I like that. Yeah. I don't know where I've been. Look with this. All right. Let's do this. How about we do this and close out the. See, you're thinking crown, right, Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
Attention. All right, let's do it. I don't know why they changed this up. See that. Salesforce. And this is daily. Yeah. Salesforce for hour. And let's see. Yeah, we'll do one. The economy just keeps rocking and rolling. So let's mark it up. And just go somewhere there like that. And press resistance in. Oh, here. And let's go down to the. It's been bullish, no doubt about it. All right. Levels. So we could get blue. This. That is most likely going to finish down. So this. It's like, and
Penny, what's CRM?
Salesforce. Yep. Ryan, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Salesforce is interesting. It's this tech company. They provide kind of CRM services. So it's a data management company. And through the pandemic, they were already kind of making a run before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, they were able to buy up a bunch of companies. They bought Slack, they bought Tableau, which is a data management company. It was a startup that showed some promise. They through the pandemic, I think they ended up buying like 9 or 10 companies.
They did.
And they hired a ton. And they borrowed a bunch of money. And now they're at a point where also they have real estate that was empty until the beginning of the year, where they started having employees come back into the office. One of the buildings they sold to Google in San Francisco, but they borrowed too much money, and they hired a lot. They hired a lot, and because of that, they ended up having to lay off a lot of folks. So since January, they've laid off around almost 20,000 people because they spent that much money and potentially have more layoffs to go. So this it's interesting to look at the chart here, because that run to the upside, right, is pretty much 2022 to now. And they're still in the tight spot because they're trying to figure out how they're going to pay for their real estate, which they likely have loans that are going to renew in the next 12 to 18 months. Some buildings that aren't being used. And they're still trying to let go of employees because they can't afford it. So I'm interested to see what happens with the stock overall. That's more of a fundamental side of it. The CEO even went on record to say they weren't fiscally responsible during the pandemic, which is why they're going through what they're going through now. So it'd be interesting to see how they come out of this situation, especially if the Fed continues to raise rates in the future, as Jerome Powell hinted at in his press conference. So it'll be interesting to see. But looking at the chart now, technically, got a potential deep King's Crown pattern playing out. But you got a trend line break there. All right. So a couple things there from a technical perspective that I'm looking at to see if that turns over and impresses to the downside.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So are they the leading CRM software now?
Yeah.
I know it's widely used.
Yeah,
I know it's widely used.
Yeah, they're the largest CRM company in the United States, but I want to say potentially in the world. Widely used, and they bought up a bunch of stuff too, which helped them out on the size.
Yeah, for sure. Be interesting to watch.
It will.
Tech is,
It will.
but it's been it's being driven by what? I think when we talk about the stock market right now, I think it's really being driven by, who is it, Apple, right? When you look at the gains, where it's coming from, it's like 6 or 7 companies: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Meta, of course, Amazon, Vita now, and then still Tesla, right? So I think that's the what is this? What did I name off? 7?
Yeah.
Seven?
So technically, you also have to add GM into that conversation. Since 2014, GM changed their classification from an automotive company to a tech company, and they just actually officially announced it last year. But yeah, GM is technically a tech company, not an automotive company any longer. A tech company that happens to make vehicles.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But they filed that paperwork back in like 2014, I believe it was.
Yeah. I know that. It's just chopping around right now.
Yeah. Did you want to say about the high on the 4?
Not yet. I think I ran out today. I didn't run out before yet. That zone gets a reaction. Something crazy, doesn't
it?
Man. Let me
You see what's interesting about that swing off the low.
Yep.
Another 80-20 scenario.
Yeah, I know. Interesting to see how to see what it looks like going next week. Even tomorrow, I mean, I keep forgetting that it's only Thursday tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. We got retail sales data coming out too. Yeah, so we'll start playing around with these a lot more, right? We'll start running charts on like Google and what else did I name? Apple, Amazon, Tesla. We'll start keeping an eye on them as a group, okay? In case some of you want to trade stocks. PayPal, yep, they are the largest, paid too much for Slack, 27.5 billion.
Man,
Ooh.
they shelled out a lot for Slack, man.
Oh, I
A
did
lot.
not create Slack. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that one. What do I have? I don't even have an S&P since I redid my charts. I need to put the S&P back on here, which is crazy because I look at it every day. Yeah, I'll get these back updated. Gold probably took a nosedive today. I didn't even look at that. Yep. Right. So I know we've been following these levels. I've been posting this one in the newsletter, just the price action. Look at that. It does not like that level. My goodness. So much, so much for that. Listen, if we break this zone here,
Look out.
yeah. I'm breaking a hold of that level.
It's almost at
Forget
the
about it.
key extension in the 4 hours, so it's gonna go.
Oh yeah. Where? Hold on. You say on the 4? Didn't I have?
Yeah.
Okay, running from the upside up to the upside, or the you running from the top
On
down?
the top, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see this. See if it's taking it out yet. Yeah, it did. This one. And it held below that level too, that 1983. Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice.
I would like to see turnover from right there. But
I know, right? Yep. It's about to settle down right here in this area. At least it's gonna hit it. Wow. Wow. Good stuff, everybody. What about so that means, let me see something here. Yep, that's what I thought. Silver's turn. Let's check. Yep. And now we're moving down. That's making lower lows and lower highs. I don't know. Like that. It's about to finish. I'll continue to push down, I believe. Well, we'll see. I'm about to remark that one up. That silver. I never remarked that chart. All right, Ryan. Anything else before we close out? Let's go buy some silver coins.
All right. No, sir. No, sir. Great session, bro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks for the participation, everybody. Continue to be patient. let those yen crosses just run until they decide to do something about it. So with that being said, hey, we'll see everybody tomorrow. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hitting the charts from my man, my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.